Greetings, adventurer, and welcome to another episode of Stories of Skyrim. Make sure to stay by the fire and keep warm. Today's episode is going to be chilly. The Five Songs of King Wulfharth. Shore's Tongue. The first song of King Wulfharth is ancient, circa First Era, year 500. After the defeat of the Elysian army at Glenumbria Moors, where King Hoag, Merkiller, was slain, Wulfharth of Atmora was elected by the Pack of the Chieftains. His Thu'um was so powerful that he could not verbally swear into office, and scribes were used to draw up his oaths. Immediately thereafter, the scribes wrote down the first new law of his reign, a fiery reinstatement of the traditional Nordic pantheon. The edicts were outlawed, the priests put to the stake, and their halls set ablaze. The shadow of King Borgus had ended for a span. For his zealotry, King Wulfharth was called Shore's Tongue, and Ysmir, Dragon of the North. Kyne's son. The second song of King Wulfharth's glorifies his deeds in the eyes of the old gods. He fights the eastern orcs and shouts their chief into hell. He rebuilds the 418th step of High Hrothgar, which had been damaged by a dragon. When he swallowed a thundercloud to keep his army from catching a cold, the Nords called him the Breath of Kyne. Old Knocker. The third song of King Wulfharth tells of his death. Orkay, an enemy god, had always tried to ruin the Nords, even in Atmora, where he stole their years away. Seeing the strength of King Wulfharth, Orkay summoned the ghost of Alduin Time Eater again. Nearly every Nord was eaten down to 6 years old. Boy Wulfharth pleaded to Shore, the dead chieftain of the gods, to help his people. Shore's own ghost then fought the Time Eater on the spirit plane, as he did at the beginning of time, and he won. And Orkay's folk, the orcs, were ruined. As boy Wulfharth watched the battle in the skies, he learned a new Thu'um. What happens when you shake the dragon just so? He used this new magic to change the people back to normal. In his haste to save so many, though, he shook too many years out of himself. He grew older than the Greybeards and died. The flames of his pyre were said to have reached the hearth of Kyne itself. The Ash King. The fourth song of King Wulfharth tells of his rebirth. The dwarves and devils of the eastern kingdoms had started to fight again, and the Nords hoped they might reclaim their ancient holdings there because of it. They planned an attack, but then gave up, knowing that they had no strong king to lead them. Then walked in the Devil of Dagoth, who swore he came in peace. Moreover, he told the Nords a wondrous thing. He knew where the heart of Shore was. Long ago, the chief of the gods had been killed by elven giants, and they ripped out Shore's heart and used it as a standard to strike fear into the Nords. This worked until Ysgramor shouted some sense, and the Nords fought back again. Knowing that they were going to lose eventually, the elven giants hid the heart of Shore, so that the Nords might never have their god back. But here was the Devil of Dagoth with good news. The dwarves and devils of the Eastern Kingdom had his heart, and this was the reason for the recent unrest. The Nords asked the Devil of Dagoth why he might betray his countrymen so, and he said that the devils had betrayed each other since the beginning of time, and this was so, and so the Nords believed him. The tongue sang Shore's ghost into the world once more. Shore gathered an army as he did of old, and then he sucked in the long-strewn ashes of King Wulfharth and remade him, for he needed a good general. But the Devil of Dagoth petitioned to be a general too, and he pointed out his role as a blessed harbinger of this holy war. So Shor had two generals, the Ash King and the Devil of Dagoth, as they marched on the eastern kingdoms with all the sons of Skyrim. Red Mountain. The fifth song of King Wulfharth is sad. The survivors of the disaster came back under a red sky. That year is called Sun's Death. The Devil of Dagoth had tricked the Nords, for the heart of Shor was not in the eastern kingdoms, and had never been there at all. As soon as Shor's army had got to the Red Mountain, all the devils and dwarves fell upon them. Their sorcerers lifted the mountain and threw it onto Shor, trapping him underneath Red Mountain until the end of time. They slaughtered the sons of Skyrim, but not before King Wulfharth killed King Dumalach, the dwarf orc, and doomed his people. Then Vek, the devil, blasted the Ash King into hell, and it was over. Later, Kine lifted the ashes of the Eastmere into the sky, saving him from hell and showing her sons the color of blood when it is brought by betrayal. And the Nords will never trust another devil again. Thank you for listening to today's video. I hope you enjoyed the stories. Yeah, we're going into more lore kind of things, which is always interesting to me. So again, I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like, comment down below, and share the video with a friend that may find this also interesting. And until then, may your tankards always be filled with the finest hunting brew meads, and the fires keep your toes toasty as winter falls upon us all.